Hi, Frank Pate here, Team Infinity Replicast, Adopt a Kid Racer. So, just wanted to talk about something else that came to my attention here recently. The current AMA structure, as everybody knows, is definitely in for some serious changes. Mr. Edmondson's probably taken on the biggest mess in his history of having to sort out a race series. And I rode Roger's series back in '96 when he did the 125 class, and it was awesome. It was a very well-run organization. It was a very well-run series. It was a national series with pretty good attendance as far as the 125 class goes. We were tied in with a much bigger race weekend, but it was a professional level weekend with some AMA stuff that was around at the time. So, he's definitely a guy to pull off the job. There's no doubt about that, I don't think. But what I see is that there are some changes that I've been watching on the sideline and not saying anything about. And I think we all need to kind of get a voice about it. We've got a couple of cool options in front of us right now, and one of them is that we could really bring together the division of the entire racing community in the United States. The United States is a general rule because we're mostly hobbyists, and I've said this before, and I get stuff thrown at me, and I get cussed at, and I'm a son of a bitch and everything else. But I'll use the word again. We really are. We're truly, as racers in general, we're truly hobbyists. When you go to Europe and you see how the Europeans race in England and in Italy and in Germany and in Sweden and Denmark, their worst hobbyist is our front-running guy. And I don't just mean in speed and skill, I mean in commitment and dedication. The top-notch guys that are out there are very, very focused on what they're doing. They're very disciplined with their training regimes. They're very disciplined with their equipment. And they're really easy to get along with and easygoing guys. A frame of reference is that, in England, if a guy doesn't show up for a BSB round that he's committed to the season for, he gets fined $50,000. Now imagine an AMA team, or an ex-AMA team now, or whatever. Imagine a $50,000 fine being imposed for a privateer who didn't show up. Makes you think twice, doesn't it? At the BSB level in the 125 class, it was a $2,000 fine if we didn't actually race the race meet. It was actually a $5,000 fine when we were in Spain at the CEV if we didn't race. It was cheaper to race the race meet than it was to cancel the race meet. So that kind of gives us an idea of the difference between what we have over here. And what I'm pointing out to is commitment. It's the commitment factor. We don't give the promoters the commitment that they need to really put together a top-notch series. So we can try to blame it on the promoters all we want, but it's not all in the promoters' hands. They've got something to work with, and that's us as somewhat committal, activist, hobbyist, enthusiast. As long as money and time allows, we'll be there, and if not, well, we'll catch some racing next season, or we'll go catch a track day. That's, put yourself in the perspective of being the promoter. Atkincade can probably adhere to this because he is a promoter. It's challenging when you don't know that you're going to have 4 bikes or 50 bikes, and you don't have that predictability or that there. It's a challenge. Every race weekend that's coming up, and I've done this, so I know, every race weekend coming up is like, crap, am I going to have a good turnout, With a disciplinary system in place like the Europeans use, meaning fines and penalties for not showing up once you've made the commitment. And that's the other thing. Daniel, my mechanic, we were talking the other day, BSB, it's $2,000 or 2,000 pounds to sign up at the beginning of the season. And then, again, don't show for one of the races because of, whatever, it doesn't matter, it's a fine. It's cheaper to go out and race the bike with somebody else on the bike, even if you're broken up. It's cheaper to race the bike and campaign the series. So, that's what they do, and that's what they put into place. And they don't have a whole lot of prize money over there either. So, these guys are still willing to come out there and race and make the commitment and stay focused on the discipline. I think in America, we just need more of a commitment. We need to be more like an American should be, and we say we're going to do it, we do it, and we show up and we go out and we give the sponsors of the series and the promoters of the series the predictability and knowing that, hey, if we say we're going to be there and race, we're going to be there and race, and we're going to show up, come hell or high water, one way or the other. So I just wanted to share that message. I hope it doesn't rub people the wrong way. It's not meant to. It's just meant, to get us all to look at the fact that, it's not always the promoter. The promoter has what he has to work with, and it's us as the participants that show up and race and come up to the races. And if we flake out and don't show up to the races because we don't have any money, or we make a decision to race 2 or 3 rounds out of a 12-round series, it doesn't really give the guy a whole lot to work with as far as putting on a championship series. So it's a constant struggle for the race promoter himself. And just a different viewpoint, something to share. So throw it in the trash if you don't like it. Tell me I'm a jerk. It's okay. I ain't worried about it. So hope